Good morning. It is 3:59 on August 20th. Today's Wednesday. Seeing what we got for today. Nothing really closed well from after hours yesterday. You had a few that popped up like Velo, but it was kind of a dead cat bounce off the bottom, so it doesn't look too promising. Right now, though, um, have PRFX on one chart, SBEV on another, and then PPCB. So we'll see if we get any action here. PRFX, if you got going above 225, I'd probably jump in. SBEV needs to get above about $2. PPCB, probably about 440. SBEV opened higher. 191. PRFX jumping up a little bit. MBY 107. I don't like MBY. The 200's at 133. Try to refresh my scans. Velo popped up and then a hard rejection, like a dollar rejection. Still got SBEV watching that one. All right, MBA's pharmaceutical or MBY pharmaceutical, but that 200's at 133. So you got like 20 cents at probably not even. It'd probably stop at like 130. It's like 16 cents. Potential move. Velo stays too cheap. Penny stock. OP penny stock high float. Glee penny stock. Anything under a dollar, I'm not going to be interested in. Also looking for floats that are under 10 million. I might go back to Velo. It's trying to push back up. $3,000 share seller at 440. If Velo got going above 470, I might be interested. We can still give it a few minutes. Monday, it wasn't until about 4:03 and 30 seconds when PPCB popped up. It's been slow too. Monday, we had PPCB 403. I thought that was going to set the tone for the week with some momentum. I mean, I think we went from like $4 to just under 14 in probably about 5 minutes. That was huge. But then everything kind of trickled off after that. Yesterday, we had a nice move on, I think it was Lay's at the open. Unfortunately, I was in a meeting and I watched it, saw the setup, saw the entry, but it was just too distracted. I couldn't take the trade, which was very unfortunate. I think that was the best move of the day. And we had some after hour moves that were nice. Like PPCB after hours went from about 4 to 490. gave back the whole move, but it's still a nice 90-cent move. Very low risk. All right, Velo fell back down. So, not seeing anything right now. So now it's kind of a matter of memorizing the top 10 stocks on the scanner, getting those ingrained in my head, and then as soon as I see a different ticker pop up, immediately jump on it. So I'm seeing MBY, STAI, OP, Velo, LXEH. LXEH has no volume. FLNT, it's not really doing anything. I'm gonna put, so I got VELO, PPCB. I'm gonna put Velo here. So we had a pop up to 460 at 405. Now I have a high of 426. I'd watch the 5 minute. If this next 5 minute candle that starts at 410, if it can break the high of this 5 minute candle, I would actually try that trade. A lot of times if there's not, well, even if there is stuff moving at 4, so you have your 4 to 405 5 minute candle, 405 410, your second 5 minute candle, that third 5 minute candle, 410 to 415. When that one breaks the previous 5 minute candle high, you usually, I would say probably 80% of the time, get a nice little move with these 4 a.m. stocks. That's for like the top five that are moving. I wouldn't go below that. So PPCB's hanging in. I'm gonna bring it up. Only 9,000 shares of volume though. That thing could whip down in an instant. See a break of 490. I don't have high conviction in that. If we do, it's probably just gonna rip, honestly. Yeah. All right, so I was gonna see if we could get a 1 minute pullback underneath 490 and then get in for the push above. But it went early. I guess you could have played it for a break of 5. It kind of shot up to 520 and then rejected though. So if you had a good entry, you might have got 15 to 20 cents on that, which isn't bad. You could play the 5 second chart. Get in. So if we got cooking, you have room to almost 10 if this thing started to rip. And Velo's not doing much. Kind of chopping sideways. Again, going back to that 5 minute. If Velo could break 427, basically starting now, I would watch that. PPCB's pulled back too much. I don't see a setup there. You could maybe, if you're ultra aggressive, get in for the break of VWAP or the break of 5, but I'm not looking for that. So Velo could break 427. I'd look for a pushback up to 470. If PPCB can give like a 1 minute setup here, I probably would try that. This 1 minute candle closes in 15 seconds. But it needs to it needs to chill. It should be right now. Stop. As technically your stop is 465, but that's a wide stop. That's like a 30-cent stop. I don't like that. And I don't like these topping tails on the 5 minute. I'm still watching Velo on my second chart for a break of 427. Scanners aren't showing much. Give us about 5 more minutes, and then if not, probably head off to the gym. Get back between 5:30 and 6. See what we have. Trade till probably 7:30, and then it'll be time to go to work. All right, I'm gonna go back to Velo. I do like this thing over 427. See what we can do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get in there. Took 300 at 427. I'm gonna see if we can get a pop up to about 460. Of course, as soon as I get in, there's a 6,800 seller just above that. There's that 6,900 seller at 429. It's not moving. It looks like it just got pulled. All right, I'm in at 27. Seller came back. Seller's still there now at 425. The high of that 1 minute candle is 435. So I'm basically looking at this 5 minute right here. Can we get above 440? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take a quarter right there. If it'll fill. It's pulling back a lot. 447. I was hoping we could push over 550, hit 560. I'm long 225, still at 427. I'm watching that 5 second chart. If this thing breaks below about 432, I'll probably just go ahead and take it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it. Okay. Oh, the thing is, Webull too is right at 4 o'clock. Their open and day P&Ls don't work for some reason. It usually takes like 15 to 20 minutes for those things to come through. So, all right, we got 21 cents on 75 shares and then 225 shares on about 4 cents. So, still green. Nothing to write home about. I guess I should have took the full position off about 450. I really thought it was going to push though to 460, but that's all right. Any other day, it probably would have. Um, I'm glad we got a quarter at 448 though. Um, okay, so that was that 5 minute setup I was talking about. This view is kind of exaggerated. Um, Typically, you wouldn't like to see all these tails on the 5 minute chart, but I do like that third 5 minute candle after 4 a.m. for a break of the previous 5 minute candle high. That setup is like pretty tried and true at 4 a.m. Again, for the top, like probably five that are leading that are not penny stocks. Penny stocks being anything under $1. All right, I'm gonna refresh the scanners one more time. If nothing looks good, I am out of here. MBY, it's just too cheap and you have no room. I'm not interested in taking 500 shares for like 15 cents. Just I don't do well with the low price stocks. It is something I'm trying to work on, but right now it's not worth the mental energy, the mental strain. Okay, let's sorry, run through the scanners. You got MBY, Penny, Velo, PPCB, LXEH, still not doing anything. FLNT, no volume. Everything else is under $1. If we scroll down, PBM. Ooh, I did not see the sub 1 million float stocks. TGL, SNG. Man, you have some good ones down here. Unfortunately, no volume, no news. PBM, 61 shares, no news. LGHL, 2 shares, no news. CVR, same story. Okay. Going back to Velo. I'm glad we moved our stop to break even. And then I got out a little above that. So what I was looking at there, we had this push up to 450. We were in at 427. This 5 second candle, you went from 448 to 432. You had a little, like, I would almost call it a symmetrical triangle forming. That's what I was watching. And essentially right there, I set my stop to the low of that, which was 432, even though I was in at 427. I saw 430. I think I saw 432 in the ask shrinking, or 432 on the bid, and the size was shrinking. So that's when I punched it. Got filled at 431, so not bad. PPCB, you might get a 5 minute setup, but it's retraced almost 3/4 of the move. You could look for the next 5 minute candle to break through 450. Target would probably be 5. Second target would be 520. but I don't like how much this is pulled back. You've essentially gone from 4 to 520, and now you're back at 430, so you have a 75% retracement. You also have two topping tails at the 5 minute, not great. You're below VWAP. PPCB doesn't have fresh news. It's kind of just continuation from Monday. And it's not even continuation, it's sold off since Monday, so I think it's more a bounce off the low, if anything. CISO popping up, but it's a cheap stock. So barring something popping up in the next couple minutes, it's time to go to the gym. Is SNGX? Yeah, SNGX is kind of just a curl off the bottom. I'm gonna mute this real quick. All right, final thoughts here. Velo, you might get a 1 minute breakthrough to VWAP, and it is setting a loose ABCD. So if it got some volume and probably a catalyst, you might see a push through VWAP, break 450, and then push through 470. I don't like it though. Oh, now you guys see GX popping up. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have deleted that. Now you have a bearish engulfing on the 1. Huge topping tail on the 5. Okay, I'd probably leave that one alone. PPCB, I was about to say this. It looks like it's going to do that curl up. I saw it right about here, and it looked like it was doing that typical curl up. So you could have got basically a break of this green candle, 436, and then target VWAP. And there's that 5 minute setup I was talking about. And it looks like it's rejecting off the VWAP. Okay, I'm gonna lock this down for now. Be back in probably hour and a half.